Alright guys, welcome to another video. Today we're going to talk about migration, specifically obviously for my kingdom, 3092, right? So in a few more days, actually 9 more days, we're going to leave Lost Kingdom. So our migration officially opens June 19th. Currently we're at 687 bill KP. We could dive a little bit more into those numbers later. I would label us as a competitive AC kingdom, right? And what that means to me is that we're fighting other ACs. We'll be one of the best ACs on the map, right? If we're fighting with kingdoms that are bigger than us, like in another class, right? Let's like a low imp. The way we're constructed, at the very least, we could be a very competent support kingdom, and then us being on the map, you know, depending on whose side we're on, can actually kind of change the tide of the KVK. Another way to put it, if you want your kingdom to actually always at least make an impact on the map in the KVK, then 3092 would be for you, right? We started this project in October 2024. So we play 3 KVKs here. We won 2 out of the 3, have 2 stars, but we did lose this last one. It was pretty brutal Orleans KVK that it was just like nonstop for about 14 days until it was over. If you want more info from that, you can see my last video. And once again, the migration opens June 19th. Okay, so just a little bit more info. Currently, you can see this chart. This is the top one's actually from Fleisch, right? When we moved in October 2024. We're at a little over 300 bill KP. And then since then, we had kind of more than double in size, or at least from a KP standpoint, right? As of April, which is the last time that website was updated, we were at 605 bill KP. Currently, we're at 687 bill. I think at the height in the mid KVK, our highest KP number was like 730, right? So we've already had a few people that we asked to migrate out, and also just some people left. In total, we asked 19 people to migrate out, and then we do expect a few more probably to migrate out. And also just some of the unknowns, right? Sometimes people either retire, you know, they offload their account somewhere else, that kind of stuff that happens. So right now we are at about 80 mains. And we actually already have 16 accepted migrants, right? So before migration even open, we have 16 accepted. We expect some to come in as soon as migration opens, but actually the bulk of them will come in early mid-July. So probably about like July 10th-ish when we get them in. Obviously, we're looking to recruit more, which is why I'm making a recruiting video, right? If I had to project where we're going to be at, and my projection for the last KVK, kind of the off-season goal going in, was actually right on target. So I do, you know, I'm not saying this just to say this. I do think this is about what we're going to look at. We're shooting for about 85 mains, right? So just about the same number of mains going into this next KVK that we did going into this last KVK, but about 800 to 900 bill KP, right? And what we're trying to do is, if we want to stay like an A seed, I think that amount of mains is a healthy number to be a competitive A seed. As you get bigger and bigger, you do just need more mains. But at this seeding, I think that's actually a healthy number to be competitive. And then obviously the KP will be a lot higher. Just what kind of, you know, with each cycle, the quality of recruits we're getting has just been higher and higher, right? So why 3092, right? First, I've said this again, it's a very active and close-knit community. You know, a lot of the people were here from the beginning, but even the people we bring in, we do a voice interview and voice chat with everyone. So everyone that we bring in is at least willing to be on voice, and then from voice, you kind of get a sense of what they're like. I will say some of the common things that people in the kingdom say is like, this is kind of their final kingdom. That's what my plan is. You know, I don't have a plan to move to a bigger kingdom. If I am gonna be in a bigger kingdom, it's because we kind of grew the kingdom to the next level up, right? I think a lot of people in the kingdom that are around feel that way, and there's a lot of people that just kind of step up and are committed to helping the kingdom grow in whatever way possible. Some of the stuff on here you can see is feedback from people that have been our campmates or been our allies, and then also for town halls, we always record them. We have the video. You know, we whenever we go into a zone, we have plans on what we're looking for. So we try to get everyone on the same page. Another reason for being in 3092, I think AC is just more fun right now, right? Right now, there's just not that many imps, especially super imps, right? It's the same few kingdoms that are fighting each other. And even some of the kingdoms that used to be on the top seem like they're on the decline. So there's not a lot of options to fight. But then also, when you kind of get into those KVKs, it's it's not often that it's a really good matchup, right? A lot of times it's already kind of a pre-set up Diplo win. Um, Before it used to be for the bigger kingdoms. Now, now the last few, a lot of these strong camps or strong kingdoms are just getting 3v1, which also doesn't seem that fun. But regardless, right? Because I'm an A seed, I'm making the case that A seed is more fun, and I actually do think more people will probably agree with me than not, right? Another one is that we have the ability to recruit, and that's super important because it allows you to start moving through the ranks, up in seeding, right? Like for example, if we won 3 in a row and they're competitive, we didn't do it in a shady way, our potential for growth would be a lot higher than another kingdom that also won 3 in a row. They were competitive, but they don't have, say, like YouTube and other things helping amplify how that kingdom is doing, right? And when you have that, and you have like a leadership group that's committed to the kingdom, um, not only is the kingdom more stable, but also the potential for growth is just a lot higher. And then finally, if you guys follow my channel, I like being strategic in how you approach things, right? From the territory to the war planning to the roster building. The one I probably have the biggest influence in directly is roster building, since I am the recruiting lead. But also, if I feel like we weren't strategic in how we went about territory and war planning, it just also wouldn't really resonate with me with a kingdom, right? So if you like being in a kingdom where leadership has that approach, then this kingdom is for you. Do we do it perfect? Of course not. We're always learning, growing, but at least there's a willingness to act to do that. And then, if we make mistakes or is there anything to learn, we kind of learn along the way. Some goals for this migration cycle is to stay at about the same amount of mains that we went to last KVK with, but greatly improve the overall quality of each player, right? So we went into last KVK at about 700 bill KP, and this one we're projecting 800, 900 bill KP. Obviously the KP number is higher, but also the average player to player, we want that quality to be higher. And don't worry, on the next page I'll go over what I mean by that. And then also, during the off season, it's very important to just replenish the credits on your shells, but especially for a younger kingdom like the one we're in that hasn't had enough times, we also want to produce more max tech shells. We have enough. Well, not even enough. We actually have more than probably most kingdoms our size, right? But the more you have, the more things you could do with territory. Let's put it that way. So what are we looking for, right? If I had to make it just like one simple sentence, we're looking for active high performers that do the necessary things to help a kingdom win. Okay, so active, self-explanatory, right? Obviously during KVK, we prefer everyone to be on voice. But just like even from like the off-season stuff to helping build credits to pre-KVK stuff, the identity of this kingdom has always just been like, we just win in a lot of these things, and we do it through sheer activity, right? And that's something we want more people that are active to fit that culture. From high performer, it doesn't just mean stat. It just means people that, for lack of a better word, has their shit together, right? There's like a personal pride and showing up and doing the stuff they're supposed to do. We're going above and beyond, not because of fear of punishment or needing praise from others, but it's just like a pride and showing up and doing things in a way that's actually productive and helping the kingdom win, right? And which leads to kind of the next point, right? There's a difference between playing for objectives and then playing just a pad stats, right? And I think anyone that's played this game for a certain amount of time, right? We all know players that have great stats that aren't necessarily KVK winning type of players. And then there's other players there where their stats maybe aren't as high, but anyone that's been in the kingdom with them knows that the value they bring greatly even exceeds whatever the stats they put up, right? Ideally, you have a player that does great stats, but also they did all the things that show up for stats and also don't show up for stats to help the kingdom win. And that's kind of the players we're looking for, right? Not only do we want players that can put up stats, but more importantly, more importantly, we want them to also get the big picture and be a player that kind of like adds like a net value, right? Players we're looking for, you need a degree of social intelligence, right? If someone is going to be in Discord with you and be voice with you, it should be like, you know what, they're glad this person is around, right? Like this person actually adds to the conversation. They add to being in war chat during KVK, and social intelligence is necessary, right? We don't care about politically correct. A lot of times it's people are actually a little too sensitive. We're not talking about that. We're just talking about like how to actually navigate being in a community, being on a team, raising morale, and essentially just being a net positive when you're around. We want someone to be self-sufficient, right? There's obviously requirements and stuff from the off season to during KVK that will set out, but we want players that we don't have to follow with them to like, hey, are you doing this or are you doing that? Or during KVK, if someone is off to the side doing something that might be getting them stats but not helping us win, right? Like we don't even have to remind them and they can lock in. But even if we do have to remind them, it's like a one-time thing. We don't have to do it again, right? And then finally, we want people that are culture builders, right? Players that when they're around, it just helps enhance the culture of the kingdom. It helps solidify the culture of the kingdom. And if that resonates with you and you feel like you're one of those players, then this kingdom is for sure for you. Because not only will we greatly value you, but also we're looking to attract like-minded individuals to be a part of that. And then finally, how do you apply? All right. If you type in your browser, migrate to sv.com, it should take you to our migration Discord channel. Under there on the left, there's a apply here. And when you click that, it will essentially have you open a ticket. In the ticket, there's going to be a list of questions. Please answer those. And then we need you to submit a screenshot of your profile, equipment, armament, so we can kind of see where everything's at. If everything passes the preliminary, where we're intrigued, we want to find out more, we'll set up a time for a voice interview or voice chat. And that's, a lot of it is kind of just answering any questions you have, but we want to take people that are willing to get in voice and also like willing to just have a conversation one-on-one to just kind of like talk about themselves, why they want to be in the kingdom, right? So if all those things sound good, please apply, because we would love to have you join us, and only apply if you're planning on coming this cycle, right? If this is something where like, oh, I might be interested 2 KVKs from now, well, do it 2 KVKs from now. But if you're actually interested in coming this cycle, please apply. Our migration opens June 19th. I forgot to say this earlier, because all this is tentative, right? But I think we're looking at taking essentially the July 23rd pop. So we're looking to do 2 skips, and then July 23rd, we're looking to go into KVK next. Obviously, still want to be in another competitive KVK. Probably going to be a 4-camp KVK this time. And then with this whole like new crystal tech and everything, I think that will actually factor into the decision. I think in general, we might have some like heroic anthem fatigue. And if July 23rd comes around and like the only options where we could get the new crystal tech is like a remaster heroic anthem, we probably will do that, right? But it's still a little far out. Let's see what Lilith does. But if you are interested, please apply. Looking forward to having you in the kingdom, interacting with you, playing with you, and kind of building this community, this team of baboons that are, all on the same page, looking to orient and grow this kingdom together to whatever it is going to be in the future. All right. Also, if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps get it out into YouTube algorithms. Thank you guys for watching. I'll talk to you guys next time.